And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
Well, welcome to everyone. It is our holiday show. It is almost Christmas. Actually, it is Christmas when you're viewing this, and I hope you all had a great Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone, no matter what you do, be it Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or any of those things. We at the Weighing In Podcast hope you had a great time with family and friends, and we are here to talk about the mixings of MMA and the boxing world. Combat sports is what we do. Josh Thompson, how are you doing, my man?
You know how I'm doing, John. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to tell everybody.
A little under the weather.
I want all of you guys to enjoy your Christmas with your family, your friends. Please don't drink and drive. Stay safe. And hopefully you guys enjoy this show. It's something to get you guys through the weekend when there's a little downtime between drinks with family. So hopefully you guys
know what?
enjoy the show.
For the holidays, we wanted to bring someone on that has a big personality, is fun, is one of the stars of the future. He is one of the best bantamweight fighters there is on the planet, and he is going places. We have got a great interview with the man, Super Stots, Raufeon Stots. Hope you enjoy. And now we are lucky enough to have a guy that is the future of MMA. We got a guy who is 17-1 at this point, and he is on a hot streak. 9 wins in a row. We got Raufeon Super Stots with the best hair in MMA. We talk about it all the time. Never cut that, dude. That is awesome. How you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm feeling really good, man. I'm feeling awesome. It's Christmas time, in Texas, and I don't got to worry about no snow. I ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm feeling really good.
So you live in Houston, though, but then you train up there at Rufus Sports?
Yeah, so I just moved to Houston, pretty much right before that Magomedov fight, so in August. So we moved down here just because I'm from Houston. We had a second baby, and it was, closer to family, so. Now I'm doing my camps in Milwaukee. Got it.
So you head up there for what, 6 to 8 weeks before the fight?
Yeah, it's probably closer to 5 to 6 probably. Which I don't know for sure. When I get a date, I'll probably head up there. I'll probably head to Corey Sandhagen's for a week or so, or a week or two or so, and then I'll head to Rufus Sport.
And where's Sandhagen at?
He's in Colorado.
Okay, up at
Elevation.
Yeah, at Elevation with Trevor Whitman.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you train then during this time?
So I train with Adrian Yanez. He's his coach just kind of passed away actually.
Sal Solis.
Yeah. Solis. As soon as I got here, he kind of passed away. So me, him, Cameron Smotherman, Mana Martinez, some guys are training here. But when I would come down, I would come and I would train with them, and they got pretty good work ethic, and it's they align with what I'm trying to do.
Y'all, this is tough, man.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah,
good work.
Got good boxing
good work for you. Got good boxing.
Yeah,
good takedown defense.
Too, kind of while I've been here.
You just got to make sure that all of your fights are towards the summertime. That way you don't have to go to Milwaukee in the winter, because no one wants to be in Milwaukee in the winter.
Man, I know. And you don't realize how bad you got it until you get away from it. Now I'm like, man, I don't want to go back. You know what I mean? But, I do love my family there in Milwaukee, so I'll be back.
That's great.
The only thing is, though, is the finals will probably be sometime during the winter, so you're gonna be stuck.
Well, if the finals are there, I'll be like, man, maybe I can't train there.
You're gonna have to be. Oh.
Well, let's talk about this, because you're in the bantamweight the bantamweight World Grand Prix, and your teammate is the champion. And I'm sure they're probably going to set you on opposite ends of the bracket, so you don't have to meet each other unless it's for the championship, or I guess it would be for the championship no matter what if you guys met, but probably put you on opposite ends. So if you both made it, you'd both meet in the finals. What is that going to be like for you? And are you going to then say, you know what, I'm going to have to move camps is he more established at Rufus Sports? So you're the guy that's going to have to move. So you might be going to Elevation and working with Corey or them.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if there was anybody to have to move, I would feel like it would be me, just because Sergio has grown up there. He's been there longer. But I haven't really talked to anybody. We haven't really talked about. We just like literally pretend it's not gonna happen until it's probably gonna. So yeah, we haven't talked. I haven't talked to Serge. I haven't talked to Coach about like what they're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with training. If we have to like split up training or anything like that, like I'm comfortable with that. Like part of it is because like I'm I feel loyal to like the coaches and the team I have at Rufus Sport. I don't want to like now that I'm fighting for the finals, like go someplace else. You know what I mean? When they brought me up, and I've been with them since I've been a pro. You know what I mean? So I want to be there, but like if it causes conflict or anything like that. I would assume that I would have to be the one, not saying like I'm not liked or anything like
Who could not like you, Raufeon? Come on, man. You're contagious.
It'd be best for me to go other places. And I have some, like Corey Sanhagen, I'd probably train with him. I got some people here in Houston that I can make a solid camp with, and I can grow and stuff. So
yeah, I saw something similar with that. With Kamaru Usman, with Gilbert Burns, he left and went up to where Corey Sanhagen was at Elevation.
Yeah,
and he went up there and started training with Trevor Whitman, and now he basically calls
good results.
But they've got great results. But they've got a good group of people there. You got Rose, you got Kamaru, you got Corey, you got Justin Gaethje. You got a lot of top talent there.
Their team is really good, and I kind of like how they it's like a couple different teams. And then they come together to spar, so it's kind of like they're cross training, different theories of or fighting, theories or whatever. And I like it. I feel like it's a lot of work. The elevation I don't necessarily notice, but I noticed I hiked one time and I noticed the elevation. Oh man, that hiking like killed me, and I thought I was good. I like, oh yeah, I sparred, and I didn't really feel it. And then I went hiking, and it was only like 2 miles, and I was like, literally, in my head, like, man, what happens if like a bear or something comes out here? Like, I have nothing for it. Like, I'm literally so tired. I can't run up this mountain. I can only walk. Like if a bird,
you ain't outrunning no bear.
Dude, those things can run. They can book it,
You
brother.
ain't outrunning no bear, man.
In my head, so in the hood, like if a dog come up, I can't outrun a dog. But in my head, I'm like, okay, I got an avenue. I can jump on this car, or I can like jump this fence, or whatever. What's the name? If a poodle came and I was on that mountain,
would have caught you.
No option. I didn't know what I was going to do. Like in my head, I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die out here. If this bird is up here flying, if it want to peck me to death, I ain't got nothing for it.
Bro, you know, right? You're in the woods. You're not gonna run and climb anything a bear can't climb. By the way, like it's like if you're in, like you're talking about when you're in the hood. You could jump over a fence. You could jump onto a car when a dog chasing you. Bro, you're in the woods.
Dogs don't climb.
These bears can climb all these things.
If a bear come and try, I got a tree, so it's a tree right there. I can hide. You know what I'm saying? I can
hide from what? Hide from what?
I can have something in between me. Hey, I'm a survivor. I'll survive up out there.
That's like trying to say you're gonna outswim a shark. What are you talking about? You're in the ocean, bro. You're in the ocean.
We're gonna have to set Raufeon up with Chad Mendes and get him some nature courses.
Hey, I need to, because I was dead, man. I was dead.
Well, look you've got the Grand Prix coming, and they have not said who's fighting who. You know who's in the entire tournament, though. Who is it that you look at and say, that's the guy I want first?
Oh man, I want to fight Archuleta. Just for me, I feel like he's got like the toughest like fight for me. I feel like just because of his cardio and his wrestling, you know what I mean? I just feel like he'll be like one of my toughest fights. I guess people are tough in different ways. You know what I mean? So I want to knock them off. But our freaking Gallagher is just like like I said before, low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? I could just like pick it. I just get advancement points. You know, if I was if I was thinking about it, like, okay, I want to be smart about this. You know what I mean? I picked Gallagher, little twerpy, but you know what I mean. I just pick and take him out and move on to the next round. But it's a lot of good out. Higo, I'd love to fight Higo. You know, I don't feel like I don't really get a lot of back and forth with Higo. I don't know if he speak English or not. So it'd be cool to, you know what I'm saying, fight him. It's just, man, there's options everywhere. Yeah.
I mean, what if, I'm just throwing this out here. What if they said, hey, you're fighting Pettis first round?
What can I do?
Yeah, that's the thing. Here's the thing. It's for the title, and you're ranked number 2. So that puts you in that position of, it's either shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the position you're put in.
Me and Pettis have never like if they offer me the fight or whatever. I was contemplating, or not contemplating. I had heard that I might fight for the title before the tournament started. You know what I mean? So I was already planning on maybe having to fight Sergio before we knew about the tournament. So if we have to fight first round, it is what it is. And that's the other thing too. I also feel like Sergio has helped me out a lot. You know what I mean? So I don't want to take no food off his table. Like that's just not the type of person. I'm not looking at what he's got. You know what I mean? So like if my hand is forced, it's a different story because then I'm choosing like Sergio over like my family, and my family. It wouldn't be fair to my family not to fight for the belt. So so if it has to happen, it has to happen.
I always look at it. You're helping put food on his table. If you're fighting for the championship, you're making him money because he's getting paid to fight you, and you know what? That's how he feeds his family. That's how you feed your family. And when it gets to a point, friendship will always be there. Yeah, but for sure. It's a business, and there comes that point. If you're fighting for a championship, I've never seen a problem. Hey, friends can fight. It's not, everyone looks at like fight. Oh, you're mad at each other. No, you're not fighting mad. You're fighting to win.
A lot of times in practice, so we might as well get paid for it.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's it.
I've always looked at it though too. You want to do it in the finals when the $1 million on the line. Sure, it would suck, but at least you guys have both made money leading up to that point, all the way to that main point. Because if someone gets knocked off early, they're kind of waiting around now for the tournament to get done. And that sucks, knowing that both of you guys are top tier. That would kind of suck. But when you look at a tournament format, how do you match it? Does the champion always fight the best person, or do you do it how the NC2A does it with their tournaments? The number 1 plays number 64, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know how you would break it up.
I don't know who's in charge. Maybe I give him a call and say, hey.
I think his name's Scott Coker. I could be wrong, but I think that's what his name is.
I'm gonna call him up.
Yeah, good luck with that, brother. Good luck.
You give him that call.
Yeah, look at how that turns out.
You'll probably have the same response that both Josh and I get from it. Silence.
We'll see what happens when we announce it, Josh.
He texts me from a burner phone. That's probably why.
Oh, he texts you. He texts you or called you from one of his employees' phones. He's like, hell no, these people ain't getting my number. That's so funny.
Hey, let's talk about your early start of your career. You said you were with Rufus, but you were actually with Jens Pulver for a while, and he's the guy that kind of got you started. Talk about your time with Little Evil there.
Yeah, so so right after wrestling in college, I was
tell everyone where you wrestled at. I know, but
yeah, so I wrestled at Nebraska Kearney,
which is the same place that who wrestles at?
The same place that Kamaru Usman
there you go.
Yeah, so it's a Division II NCAA school, 4-year college in Nebraska. So I wrestled there. I wrestled in a junior college before that, and then I transferred to this 4-year college. And I was done with wrestling after winning 2 national championships. For those who don't know, I won 2 national championships in wrestling. Yeah, so I was done with wrestling, and I was just kind of finishing up my degree and helping out at coach at the school, pretty much. So I would go to the practice and help the guys coming up wrestle while I finished my degree. And then there was some guys doing MMA. One of my friends, Josh Smith, he was doing MMA. One of my friends, TJ Hepburn, was doing MMA. And some of the MMA guys wanted like somebody to help with wrestling, help teach wrestling, pretty much. And some of the dudes that didn't know how to wrestle, they just wanted a class for wrestling. And Gents had actually came to me and asked me, hey, could you because I was like helping out with TJ and Josh, just helping them out for workouts and stuff. And he was like, hey, you want to help me? Because he started an MMA gym in Nebraska Kearney. So so he started an MMA gym at Nebraska Kearney, and then he asked me to help him do the wrestling. It's funny because when he first came there, I think it was like on my birthday, and I didn't know who he was or whatever. And I was like, I had just won national champion. I thought pretty highly of myself when I was at a bar or something. But I got kicked out of a bar because I tried to get a drink in front of him or something, and everybody was like, hey, no, like, don't mess with him. Like, bro, like, this me, Raufeon. You know what I'm saying? And I got kicked out because I was too drunk. But, so I started there. And, he got me to do jiu-jitsu. Then he got me to do boxing. And then he just, like, kind of talked me into doing some MMA fights. Just because he was like, man, you pick up things really fast, and you like a sponge. Like, I'm telling you, man, just do it. You know what I mean? And he's got a way of just convincing me to do anything. So, so I did a couple MMA fights with him in Nebraska. And then it was kind of hard to like find fights just because of the wrestling background. And then the gym had ended up shutting down. Like, not enough people came or whatever. They didn't get the numbers that they wanted. And so I moved with him. He was moving back to Iowa. And I moved with him back to Iowa and got a place in Iowa and started training at Pat Militage's gym at Militage. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty much all of my amateur career was with Gents Pover, and then a little bit at the end with Pat Militage.
What made the switch over to Rufus Sport?
So Pat Militage and Gents were doing kind of commentating. Gents was doing the Winter Warrior in Australia, and then Pat was doing the LFAs. And so we didn't really have a coach. Like they would come, when they would be back in town or whatever. But it was just like it wasn't enough for me to. I didn't feel like I was, progressing every day. Also, the fighters I was training with at the time didn't really have as much knowledge as I felt like I needed. And so I was like I felt like I was getting away with stuff just because of my wrestling. Like I could, and my athleticism, I didn't really have it. I had the techniques dialed in, I was just getting away with stuff. I felt like I was able to just do stuff because I was more athletic or I had wrestled, you know what I mean? And that's not how I wanted to. I didn't want to progress that way. I felt like it was going to be a long way. So I pretty much asked Pat and Gents, I was like, hey man, I'm feeling like I'm kind of getting to where I need to make a move, or I need to find somebody that can beat me up pretty much, and then Pat was like, hey, if it were two places you could go, it would be Rufus Sport, which is down the road, or it would be American Top Team. He's like, those two places, like, I feel like would be very good for you to go. And so Rufus Sport I was in Iowa. Rufus Sport was only, I want to say like 2.5 hours away. So we drove to pretty much Wisconsin, and I checked it out. And I tapped by Daniel Wanderlei. I got tapped by him in an amateur practice or whatever, like 4 or 5 times in a round or whatever. And I was like, you know what, I gotta come back. If not, just beat this guy, this Brazilian dude that beat this guy. I gotta go back. You know what I mean? So, and I didn't even. I went there because of the striking. Like I needed help working on my striking with Duke Rufus. But I didn't even. It wasn't even a striking class. It was a amateur class, and I was just kind of doing whatever I wanted, like with amateurs or whatever. With wrestling, and then this guy came and changed my world. So yeah, and then also when I came back for like a sparring day, I got some good lessons, got some good lumps. So I had to come back.
That group seems very open and welcoming. I mean, like, how was it to actually walk in, for those first couple of weeks and be like, hey, I'm sticking around, I'm staying, because you have Pettis, you got Big Pettis, Little Pettis, you've got Manuel Sanchez, you've got a lot of top fighters that were out there. T Wood was there for a little bit, Ben Askren was there. I mean, all these people were walking through that door at that time.
Yeah,
what was that like?
I felt like when I was walking in, I just felt very small. I felt like not like body wise. I just felt like, man, these dudes got a lot of accomplishments. You know what I mean? And just a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge and stuff like that. So I felt like super small, which for me is like, or I like that feeling because it felt like I got like room to grow. I got I can like piggyback off of people type of thing. So yeah, so I that was great for me. You know what I mean? I got beat up, and I felt like I was gaining knowledge every time I was there. So I mean, and that's the other thing I feel like which has helped my career. Like Tyron Woodley, Paul Felder, Anthony Pettis, like these guys like know, or Jens Pover, Pat Milicic, these guys like have so much like intangible knowledge, you know what I mean, that I could just like learn every day. Things that you don't know unless you've been there, you know what I mean? Like when Anthony was champion, like the knowledge that he has, the experience that he has, and I'm constantly picking these guys' brains. So yeah, it was amazing.
So the first time I ever saw you fight was in the LFA. I saw you fight, I think it was Ryan Lilly. I think it was your first fight there. And that was when I said, man, this kid could be good. And then I watched you again in the LFA, and you had a couple more wins. And then I watched you do a grappling competition. It was Kinetic. And I think they only had one of them, but it was you fought Anthony Burchak in it, and you dominated him. But I think they called it a draw. There was no points in or anything like that. It was just submission.
Yeah.
So that was when I first talked to you after that, and I said, What the hell are you doing? Why are you not fighting? And and you go, well, help me get there. I said, well, that's an easy thing to do.
Yeah. You are the reason I am in Bellator. To be honest, I didn't think it was an option for me to. I didn't think you guys would be interested in me. You know what I mean? So when you had said that to me, and I was drinking then too, I was like,
like we didn't kick you out of the bar.
Yeah. Like, why don't you sign with Bellator? And I was like, or why don't you call Bellator? So I was like have them call. Like, who do I talk to? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me know what I need to do. And so then, like right after that, that I met you. It was at Emmanuel Sanchez. Emmanuel Sanchez fought Tywin Claxton in the first round of the tournament. Actually,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Right after that, I like called my manager and was like, "Hey man, is like Bellator an option for me? Can I like go to Bellator or whatever?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then also like that first round of the tournament was like eye opening to how like Bellator operates and stuff. It just seemed pretty cool. So. Yeah.
What has been like now that you just said that, what's been your experience since you've been there? Like, how did it all come about when you talked to who signed you? Was it Rich Chow? Was it Kogan? Was it Scott Coker? Then how has your experience been since then after your first couple fights?
It's between Rich and Mike. That's been doing most of. I think Rich was in the beginning. And so what happened was I called Brian, my manager at Sucker Punch, and I was like, "Hey man, is Bellator an option for me or whatever?" And he was like, "You think you want to go Bellator?" And I was like, yeah, I think I want to go Bellator. And he was like, yeah, well, let me make a call and see, what our options are. And so he called, and then literally, like, so that was in the morning at like 9. We had practice at like 12 to 2. And so like he had called me again, like pretty much like right before I headed into practice, and was like, hey, they said they're interested. Here's the number, and I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm with it. Like, can I do it or whatever? And he was like, yeah. He was like, well, let me finish negotiating or whatever. And then like right after practice, I came back, and he was like, yeah, so we got the contract ready for you to sign. So it like happened like so fast, like, where I'm thinking like, okay, it's gonna be okay. I got maybe get in touch with somebody, then you get a week, and then stuff go by. But it happened like that day, and I was like, God, man,
I don't mess around, man. When I see someone, Josh and I used to chew Rich Chow Zero. Poor Rich, man. And I went right to him. I said, dude, if you watch it, he goes, yeah, I have. And I said, he's available. What the hell are we doing? He goes, that's a good point. Let me find out. And that was it.
Oh, yeah. That was crazy to me. Also, it felt like, man, like, however, like, cheesy or whatever it might sound like, it felt like I was wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not gonna go keep chasing after a girl that is not answering my DMs or not.
You're one of those guys, huh, man? You're all up in your feelings, huh?
Yeah,
you need to feel loved. You're one of them guys.
In my head, I'm like, you gonna notice, like when I get big, hey, you gonna wish you had me.
There you go.
I'm not gonna be there.
Oh man,
it was super cool.
Now that the tournament's been announced,
yeah.
And you look at that, you've already kind of said, like, these are the people you'd like. Juan being the number one guy, probably, and like you're saying with James, and even maybe with Higo.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the Pettis situation is one of those things because you are number 2 that could potentially happen. You've already beaten Magomedov. Let's talk about that fight, because that fight to me was very important.
Yeah.
Because he was the only guy that ever really legit beat Peter Yan. And there was a lot of praise and a lot of hype around him. I was one of the guys giving him a ton of hype, and you were hating on me for it, and I honestly believed that he was going to be one of those guys that just outworked you, because I had never really seen like someone push you to the point where your speed and your athleticism didn't get you out of trouble.
Yep.
Or with him, he was having difficulties dealing with your speed and athleticism, whereas I would have thought it had been the other way around. Talk to me about how the training went for that fight, and tell everyone exactly how the training went for that fight and what preparations and stuff that you had to deal with for that fight.
So the training for that fight was, my training camp was kind of crazy, for that camp, because I had sold my house and I was like moving. And so we were in like Omaha. I was in Omaha probably during like the off season of the camp. And then when the camp started, actually, because we were supposed to fight, and then it got moved like 4 weeks or something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I had came down when we found out about the fight. I think it was like 5 weeks or so. I was going down to I had planned on going down to Rufusport, because I was in Omaha just for like a month or so, like pretty much looking for a house in Texas to buy, but we were doing it like online. And then my wife's family is from Omaha, so we was like spending time in Omaha with them. But yeah, so then I had went down, and then like while I was driving down, Brian had called me and was like, yeah, so they moved the fight back 4 weeks or whatever. So like while I was driving, which is like I think like a 8-hour drive or whatever to Wisconsin, while I was driving down, they told me it was going to be 4 weeks later. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just drive back because, I don't need to spend, I don't need 8 weeks to train. Usually I'm in shape and I'm training every day. I just need like finite details. 4 weeks I'm usually good. But, anyways, so the training for that was like really, it was like really good for me because it was the first time I had trained away from my family. So it was like a little bit of added motivation. So, and also I just had more time to rest and train, just because I didn't have the kids, pretty much to like look after. Because usually I'm like with the kids or with my kid pretty much throughout the day until I go to practice. And so then so I trained a lot, and then also I work with Lovato, which I feel like really changed my grappling, like how I looked at grappling because of his top control and things like that, you know. So and his his ability to create space and stuff like that with grappling. It kind of changed because I had more of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I had a lot of concepts from the Carson Gracie system. I had a bunch of concepts from bottom, but on top, I was pretty much before I was like waiting until I was just waiting until people made mistakes. And what I feel like Lovato, his system is more kind of suited toward wrestlers. So you know that helped me out. And I mean my wrestling defense and you know striking has always kind of like been there just with Duke. And then also it's not like just like a striking system, it's like the concepts, which I feel like for me is more important than like the techniques. And that's why I like Gerald Mearshart too for his grappling. It's like concepts of just like a simple thing like if I punch straight, it's gonna be faster. It's gonna be there more quickly than if I circle. You know, things like that. Like rules or whatever. And so I have a lot of rules in wrestling that I know to be true. So like the striking and like putting them together, like the rules, like help me put together like a good, you know, game plan for Magomed, because I knew he needs to be, I know what he needs. He needs his hands locked. He needs his hands locked around me. So if I can strike in a fashion and grapple in a fashion that makes it very hard for him to do that, I felt like it was going to be a good night for me. And that's pretty much anybody I fight. I mean, my game plan is pretty much to make you as uncomfortable for as long as I can throughout the fight, you know. So like if you're a good striker, I'm going to make you uncomfortable by most likely wrestling you or different types of striking to get, you know what I mean? I'm just playing rock paper scissors out there with whoever I'm fighting. So yeah, so that was kind of my game plan. And then also, like when I train too, I train for like worst case scenario, you know. Worst case scenario, I have no athleticism. I have no I guess stamina and things like that. So I'm like in my head, like that's when like the stuff is real. And when the stuff is real is like when I like want to be the strongest, like in my mind, you know what I mean? So like when I'm like when I'm the most tired, that's when I'm like picturing somebody, even if I'm shadow boxing or if I'm fighting somebody, I'm picturing somebody they're at their peak and I'm tired coming at me, you know what I mean? And and I'm gonna have to deal with that, because I feel like most people when they train for the good, you know, they train for like when everything is hunky dory, you know, everything is going according to plan and stuff. And you know, I want to be a beast, you know, when I'm feeling like a bitch, you know what I mean? So
okay, so with the Magomed fight, like you controlled the position, you controlled every aspect of that fight. So everything that he was doing, he just wasn't able to ever get in deep enough on the takedown. But then you look at somebody like who's a little bit longer, probably a little bit not as good a wrestler, but is very dangerous all the way, and someone like Apache Mix. Yeah. Because if he does get to your legs at all, or he does get to your body or press you to the fence, that's another animal you have to deal with. And you guys are right there in the same category of 2 and 3 or 2 and 4, somewhere in there. So that's a big, strong possibility with your wrestling and his style of jiu-jitsu. Yeah, that they may try to match you guys up first.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that matchup too. I'll be his skinny fat self too, because all I mean his box pretty much Patchy Mix just look mean. He don't really want to do nothing on his feet. He want to look mean. And I'm going to just punch him in the mouth a lot of times.
I don't know. You called him and Archuleta. You found him in an elevator and you put out a great.
Because that's the other thing. I've been trying to fight these guys, I feel like, for a while. But I understand, everybody's chasing the belt, and nobody before the tournament, like nobody really, even now, like nobody really got a reason to risk everything they have to fight me. I mean, that's been my kind of story, like since I got to MMA, even like before like the UFC, when they were telling me that I was next in line, I was next in line. They were giving the people that had fights options, and like I'm never gonna be the first option anybody's gonna like. You don't see a clear way of beating me, because I'm good everywhere, so it's not like, oh, okay, this is what we got to do. Easy. This is what we got to do to beat this guy.
Yeah, some of that blame though could go on the UFC, or not the UFC, but on Bellator, because Bellator, like knowing that the tournament, because I know that they've been working on this, putting this tournament together for almost a year. Okay. So some of it could go on them. Like they don't want to go matching the best fighters up against each other too early. Yeah. Be like, okay, now what do we have for the tournament to fight? You know what I mean? I know the outcomes could all be different, but if people have already seen all the fights happen, then they're not as inclined to watch.
Promoters always think that they have the idea of how, okay, we'll put these, and we think this is we'll get this, and then we'll get this. Doesn't work out that way.
No.
Then I come in and screw up Magomedov.
There you go. That's your job. Come in, screw it all up.
You got to look at it this way, though, too. They thought, okay, look, we have an escape plan. Like, say, okay, if Horiguchi beats Pettis, we have Stots fight Horiguchi.
Oh, yeah.
And if it didn't happen, now we're okay. Now let's go back to ground zero. So, like, they're probably thinking, okay, look, now this is what we've got to do. Yeah. Got to probably have you and Mix, or you and somebody else, like you. And like I said, I think right now we're just trying to figure out. There's a good chance. Mm-hmm. And I haven't heard anything, but I'm saying there's a good chance you may see Horiguchi and Pettis in a rematch in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, given the way that fight happened, I mean, like,
yeah. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the biggest upsets, I think I've seen in a long time, in the way that it all happened.
That was insane. Like, that might have been the most epic moment I've witnessed in my life. Like in person. But like, I lost my voice. I was throwing chairs everywhere. Man,
that's what makes fighting what it is. Because there's a judge's score, and yes, Sergio was down on the cards, no doubt about it. Yeah. But all these people saying, "Oh, he got lucky." No, he did not get lucky. Yeah. That was a technique that he has used in the past. That is something that he planned to do. That is something that he executed, and it worked. It's no different than setting up an arm bar or anything like that.
It's like a half court shot. You know what I mean? Like, they throw it to go in. It's not like
So you take a look at it. Horiguchi was winning, and everyone's got to look and say, if you were watching the fight and if you're in that bantamweight tournament, yeah, Horiguchi's coming off a loss, but that's not a guy you want to really fight, because, man, he is trouble in a lot of places.
Yeah. Actually, stylistically, probably Horiguchi might be my toughest one, now that I think about it. He might be the toughest style. I mean, I feel like I'd have a better answer for what he brings to the table, but who knows? We'll see. We'll find out.
What about him do you think will be difficult for you to deal with?
So, for me, when I see Horiguchi, he's fat. He's like super quick, and he's like really darty in and out. He covers distance fast, and he gets out really fast. And he's kind of like elusive in his like lateral movement, so that would be something that I would have to address. I would have to address early. And but I feel like my wrestling timing, like a lot of people think like I got like really good wrestling, which I have really good wrestling, but I feel like even better timing. And even when I did wrestle, like my timing was really good. So being able to time shots or like take advantage of him closing the distance, I think will play to my benefit. If he closes distance too fast, I'm in on his legs. And which I feel like he would fight me a lot, like he tried to fight
Caldwell.
Yeah, like he tried to fight Caldwell, but Caldwell was able to get him down a lot. You know what I mean? And I feel like I have better like pressure and stuff on top. I'd be able to keep him down and do some at least wear him out, do some damage and wear him out. So that's where I feel like, but I'd have to address. And then it could be it could be that he's fast. He's so fast that I can't get a read on him. In that case, I'm gonna have to catch him pretty much on his exits, but I gotta work on like closing distance faster, which I've been working on something or some things that will address that. But those kind of two things together, that's the biggest thing I gotta worry or address. I feel like with Horiguchi.
Let's talk about, first off, you're my favorite interview in the cage after you fight because you are on fire. Okay, you are so fun, and you can say anything at that time. It doesn't matter. But you actually made the poor guy that has the button to silence what someone does. You gave him a blister when you were working with Josh up at the desk because you decided to have some language.
You know what? I got my mother-in-law here now. And that's something, Miss Didi. I've been freaking working on trying not to cuss. Like
freaking's good.
Or since I've been a dad too. Like I've been trying not to cuss.
It's in all of us, dude.
All of I have, man. I don't have as a wide array of vocabulary like you guys.
You were chaining it together pretty damn well.
I was loving it, man. I was cracking up, man. I'm sitting down there just listening. I'm laughing.
You get me after I done had a drink and I got like taco meat out. I'm on. Hey, this is that's first city. I can't help it, man. I can't.
Okay, so how'd you come up with the name Taco Meat? People were just cracking up online. How'd you come up with this Taco Meat thing? What is this?
For like pretty much all my life. You ain't never heard Taco Meat?
No, never heard Taco Meat.
It looked like little,
Oh, jeez. Oh, because you got a little curly hairs?
Yeah, little curly hair.
Little chest hair there, man.
Jeez, little chest hair. I'm sorry, I never had chest hair. I never had that problem.
He's never had taco meat.
No, never have. Don't have any hair now on my chest. None. Not one.
Bald like a billiard ball.
Yep.
Oh my
yep.
goodness.
And them women love it. They ain't got about worried about putting their head on my chest and waking up with hair in their mouth. Yeah. They're like, oh wait, let me use that as a toothpick and floss my teeth real quick. They don't gotta worry about that. Oh man, they wake up, they go,
must be
trying to get it out.
I don't even want to know. Don't even want to know.
No, it's great. Oh, okay. So go ahead, John.
So with the family, Christmas time. Merry Christmas to you. It is right at Christmas here, and so you got everything set. You're all done. You've done everything you're supposed to do, or does Mama do it all?
Oh yeah, Mama does it all.
That's the way to do it. That's my man. Put it on Mama.
I just put on a smile and say, "Oh yeah, I got you that." Yeah, or we got you that.
Well, we got you that.
But yeah, I'm actually we're hosting Christmas. So, I feel like a grown up this year. I hosted Thanksgiving with my family, and then my wife's family is here now, and we're hosting Christmas. So, yeah, everybody came down for the nice weather, and we're enjoying Christmas in Texas. So.
Look at you growing
up,
hosting.
Man. Scary.
Right, who's making food, or is it potluck style?
I think her mom is making food. And her sister, I think, are making some dishes. I don't know what we eating yet. Actually, we doing or that might be tonight. We doing a shrimp broil or something. I ain't doing nothing, obviously. But yeah, we're doing it.
Now that we're talking about this, is how much has your fight career changed you in terms of financially? Like what would you be doing if you weren't fighting? That's another question I should ask.
Bro, I wouldn't be as happy as I am now. That's for sure. I just feel like it's just opened up a lot of avenues that being from where I'm come from, I don't feel like was in my future. Just because, looking at maybe the people around the same, or just my family, we just got a lot of, stuff going on. And I feel like this is kind of giving me just like a way to like pick us up out of the mud. You know what I mean? So Like I'm very grateful for fighting and also wrestling. Wrestling also changed my life drastically. I was, I mean, my mom, pretty much her mom was a crackhead, pretty much, so she was addicted, and my mom kind of changed that, and like moved us into a better neighborhood. So she was like trying to, do better for us. She had like an associate's degree, which was the first in our family, like a degree after high school. So I just want to like kind of further that and set my family's trajectory, onto bigger and better.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of motivation too. Or fighting and wrestling kind of has allowed me to like change the trajectory of our family. But I think I'll be able to do a lot more good, after I win $1 million, So
There you go.
yeah.
I mean, when you look at that tournament, is there anyone that you say that has the potential of beating you? And I don't know. You sit at home and you think to yourself, "Okay, these are the guys that I think could potentially do something." To me. When I look at it maybe different than you do. But what about you?
No, I feel like everybody has the potential of beating me if I don't show up.
Yeah.
Even if I show up, I feel like Sergio Horiguchi, probably Juan, have the best chance at, or no, Magomed have the best chance at beating me. I feel like, because I'm not like unbeatable, but if I show up and if I do everything I'm supposed to be, I'm gonna be unbeatable. So I'll make sure of it. But yeah, those are the people that I definitely have to be on my A game to beat.
Have you ever gone 5 rounds in a fight?
Yeah.
Because all of these fights are 5 rounds.
Yeah, I went 5 rounds. I fought Rob Emerson when I was a VFC, and
Victory Fighting Championship.
Yep, Victory Fighting Championships. Yeah, that's the only time I think I've went 5 rounds.
Got it. And then, does any concern with you in that situation?
No, I felt pretty. I feel like I'm a 5-round fighter, to be honest. I usually, I usually like hit a stride around like, I got people figured out, and I hit a stride around round, 5. I've been doing like 6-minute rounds with here at Adrian Yanez's camp, and I feel pretty good.
Got it. John?
Let's get into one thing. You put out after you beat Magomed, you put out a tweet, and it was answered by Peter Yan, and you guys are kind of going back and forth about, who's the best.
Yeah, Peter Yan
don't
things like people that. Calling me the best, man. Peter Yan don't like that at all.
It's just the way it goes. But he brought up your only loss was in Ring of Combat a long time ago to Merab Davashvili. Yep. And it was fast because you got hit by a spinning back fist and knocked you out. Like, I want to say 15, 20 seconds into the fight. It just started. So, okay. And that was your only loss. I know you don't want that loss, but what did you learn from it? And what do you think it's actually done for you? I think
for me, I didn't want to lose or whatever, but I needed that loss. I was talking to some of my teammates just 2 days ago or something. So for me, like fighting was a lot like wrestling, and I was kind of approaching the mindset of like going into a fight kind of like wrestling. So in a wrestling match, I would usually go out, you tie up a little bit, you kind of feel their strength, you kind of get kind of their timing down like a little bit, but I wouldn't like really turn it up until like maybe the first round or the first period of wrestling was like 3 minutes. So I would like turn it up around like 2 minutes, start, picking up pace on guys or whatever. And so I was like approaching fights like that, I was approaching fights like, okay, yeah, I'm a kind of feel them out, and it got to a point where like I was winning, a lot, and then I was forgetting that the guy is dangerous, and then also for me, most of the times when people fight me, they're gonna fight up, at the regional scene I was on, this guy's a 2-time national champion. They're like their senses are heightened because they're nervous and all this type of stuff. Like, so they're fighting up, especially in the first couple seconds. So what I had to learn was when I approach a fight, like, yeah, I want to be calm and things like that, but I gotta be super aware, especially when the fight first starts. I gotta be super aware. I gotta be present in the moment. I gotta be, aware what's going on because this guy is super dangerous, especially, when he's scared and fighting up. He's fighting in my head. When they fight me, they fighting the best that they fought. So people are gonna fight up to fight me usually. So yeah, so that, I mean, I learned that because when I went into that fight, so I was on or Dana White had pretty much told me like, hey man, you win this, because I met Dana White at like ringside after a fight I had, and then he said pretty much like, hey, you're gonna go here and you're gonna fight for Ring of Combat, and they're gonna find a guy pretty much for you to fight, and then you win that, then you're what's the name. So I was like texting back and forth with him, like he was doing the deal with me or whatever, because it was for his looking for a fight show. Yeah, so in my head, I'm already there. I've already made it. I'm already spending the checks in my head.
You'd already mentally put yourself in place. You're almost the champion of that promotion.
yeah. I'm
there you
this
go.
Big thing. I'm there. And so, yeah. So when I had got to the fight, I didn't think much of Magomed. I thought he was a decent wrestler.
Merab.
Not Magomed. Merab. I didn't think much of Merab. I thought he was a decent wrestler, but I thought, like, I'll go in there, he'll be a tough fight, but eventually, I'll come out. The better fighter will come out on top. You know what I mean? And so even when I was warming up and when I went into the fight, I was kind of relaxed. I was just like I was too relaxed. I just thought things would like come to me, and I didn't like go and take them. You know what I mean? I thought like, oh, like I deserve this. I'm supposed to be here. It'll happen. And so when I think he threw like a first kick, and I have like automatic like responses in my head, but it's not. I wasn't like I'm just like going through the motions pretty much, like he throws a kick and I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to throw 1-2 after, and close the distance. And, I just wasn't present in the moment, and, I paid for it, which was a lesson that I had to learn, that I needed to learn, for me to be where I'm at today. So I'm like grateful for it. I wish it didn't happen, but
sure.
I'm definitely grateful for it.
Yep.
I mean, I think we've all had those fights though, where we learned a lot from some wins. We've learned a lot, definitely, from our losses. And I feel like sometimes when you have the O that's behind you for so long, and then you're having to carry that along with you, there's a lot of stress that comes along with it. But then getting it out of the way, it's like, I don't have the O anymore. It's like you're frustrated about that, but it's also made you a better fighter, and it's made you more aware of what really needs to take place if you want to be considered one of the best in the world. And so that's good to hear.
Exactly. And the good, or like, I feel like if you like when you have the O or whatever, if you can like take as many losses as you can, like in the gym, then you won't have to go through that in front of like people or whatever. But like some of those lessons are just hard to learn, unless you like in a fighting, the fighting atmosphere, like stuff is on the line. So it is what it is,
All right, I'm gonna play a little fantasy here. When you look at the guys in 135 in the UFC, or you look at the guys in the PFL, or what other organizations available there at 135, who do you, when you look at them, is there anyone in those organizations that stands out to you and goes, man, that kid's good?
Yeah, Corey Sandhagen is like one of the best fighters I've ever trained with. Adrian Yanez is one of the best fighters I ever trained with. But to be honest, Peter Yan is like he's good. He's like really good. I would if there was like a fantasy where I could like test my skills against him, I think I do very well because I mean I mean, just watching him fight and kind of like, you know, not that me and Corey are fighting by any means, you know, but like like mimicking Peter, or trying to, you know, fight like Peter just to like help Corey Sandhagen. I felt like I had to do like some research on Peter, or
Piotr.
Peter, or however you say his name.
Piotr.
Just say
Piotr.
Peter.
Sorry, it's all good.
Yeah, I feel like I do well because I bring different like I said, I bring different threats, you know, and that's the thing. Like these matchups will all be different because it's different threat. TJ is another dude that I'm like, man, I would love to like test my skills against. You know, I feel like I would do well. And then also, you know, y'all kind of slighted my homies, so you know, I want to beat y'all up just, you know, because of that.
John, you got anything?
No, dude, I just want to tell you, thank you very much for your time, man. You are a joy to be around. I love your energy. Your personality is fantastic. Keep it coming. Best Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that stuff to the family, all of the family there, and you take care of them, and want to appreciate you coming on the show for us.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you guys having me, man. John, thank you for opening up my eyes, and thank you for, you know, creating this opportunity for me. I feel like, you know, I owe you a lot, so thank you.
You owe me nothing, brother.
And Josh, you know, I hated you before, but now we friends. So,
hey, no. Raufeon, keep hating him.
Okay,
just keep hating him.
Hey, bro, get at the end of the line. The list is long, buddy. It's
and
okay.
Distinguished.
And I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
I mean, you got your hairless chest to fall back on, so you.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
There you go,
my man. Hey, thank you so much for coming on, man. You're always a pleasure. You know that, man. We always like to give each other, you know, shit when we see each other. But hey, stay healthy. Enjoy your Christmas with your family and the kids, and God bless.
God bless you guys.
Thank you, brother.
Well, I want to wish everyone that's listening to us today a happy and very Merry Christmas from Big John and myself and Podcast Dave and the whole Weighing In crew. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting us over this whole year. But I also want to thank one of our sponsors in mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. If you guys go there for any of the stuff, any of the events, sporting events, fights, football, basketball, anything, they've got gambling on there. They've got bets that you go ahead and lay down. If you use our promo code Weighing In at mybookie.ag, they're going to give you a little extra spending cash for your first initial buy-in. So with that QR code right there, they're going to give you a little extra cash using our promo code Weighing In. If you guys use that code, they're going to give you some extra cash at mybookie.ag. We want to thank them. We want to thank you guys so much for supporting us. We want to thank them for supporting us as well. And the way we can do that is by having you guys use our promo code Weighing In at mybookie.ag. And please have a happy and very Merry Christmas from the whole Weighing In crew.
Well, that was a fun time with Raufeon Stots. Here's a guy, man. He's got that energetic and that personality you just grab onto because he's fun to be around. He's great when you see him at the shows. He's great. He's even good with the other fighters in playing and having fun with them. Even the guys that he's going to end up being in a fight with. He's a guy that you got to love, his personality, the way he goes about the fight game. Take a look at what he's done. He is phenomenal. 17-1 at this point.
John, those are the people you've got to fear the most. You want to know why? Because nothing to them is serious. They understand that it's just still a sport. And sure, you can get hurt playing this sport, not a lot more than you can other sports. But he has learned to accept, like, hey, you win some, you lose some. You may have to fight your teammates. You may not have to fight your teammates. He's not letting anything get to him until the moment comes. And that's one thing that I felt like with myself. That was as I got older in my career, I started letting all that stuff just go by the side. And I felt a lot better as my career went on because of that. And I feel like he's got it under wraps at a lot younger age. And he's really just letting the moments present themselves. He's doing what he's got to do. He understands the situation that he's stepping into with this Bantamweight World Grand Prix. There's a lot on the line. His teammate is the champion. There's a lot to think ahead about, but he's not doing that. He's like, no, let's just take it one fight at a time. Let's train with the best guys we can. He's training with Corey Sandhagen up there at Elevation. As Elevate or Elevation?
Elevation.
elevation. So he's up there, he's surrounded by great talent there. He's still over at Duke Roofus Sports, training with his teammate who's the champion in Sergio Pettis. I liked his energy when he was at the desk with us for the last show. I loved his energy there. His taco meat on his chest. I got all that. I don't have taco meat. I don't have the taco meat situation going on. So, I mean, but look, he's fun. He's one thing. He's not only is he fun, but he's extremely talented. He's athletic. His energy in the cage is good. He can wrestle people. He can take them down. He can control them. He's good on the feet. He's fast on the feet. He is one of those well-rounded fighters, and that's what you need to be if you want to be champion. Now, like we talked about some of the people he posed a threat. When he was talking, John, who do you think poses him the most threat in that bantamweight tournament?
I actually think he picked out the guys I think that are the biggest problem for him. I'm going to say that his teammate in Sergio Pettis, I'm not sure that he is based upon the wrestling and what he knows about Sergio, but it's also what Sergio knows about him. So that's a tough one. But I would say Horiguchi is a tough style matchup just because he matches his speed.
Yeah.
And he might even be faster. So that's always that element that I take a look at. Magomedov is another guy that you look at. He could be trouble because now he's been in there with you and he's going to make adjustments. And what adjustments does he make? And are you able to find the areas where you say, I could have been better here. This would have worked out better for me in this situation, and make your own adjustments. So those are the two guys. If I'm looking, I go guys that he's already got a win against in one and Horiguchi being the other. I would say those are his toughest matchups if they're put against him.
Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. I would say for sure Horiguchi, just because of the speed, also because of the power. So he possesses the power in the hands. He described it perfectly. He gets in and gets out very fast, and then he delivers his power, and then he's out of there, and he's got to make sure he finds a way to cut off the cage. He's got to find a way for the timing on the takedowns, whatever it is. He thinks that he can out wrestle him, be like how Darren Caldwell did. And I would probably agree with him, but can he do it for 5 rounds? That's the other thing. Trying to hold Horiguchi down for 5 rounds is not the easiest thing. And Horiguchi's no slouch either in stopping takedowns. And so when you see that, like that makes for a really fun fight. I think for you and I both, we're just waiting to see how these brackets, how they're all laid out. Because the fight that I really want to see the most is I want to see Magomedov versus Patchy Mix. That's the fight that I want to see. And I know it's not really fair because those two guys are ranked, 3 and 4 or 2 and like somewhere in there. I think they're 3 and 4.
Maybe 4
it's
and
like,
5.
It might be 4 and 5, but I think they're 3 and 4 somewhere in there. That style, it's not fair for both of them because they're both very, very good. But then when you get into it, like you see, I could see Horiguchi getting an automatic rematch. Like I talked about with him, I could see that happening because the way that fight played out, how it all happened, and how it shocked the world. How that happened. And then I could see Higo and Stots, or, Gallagher and Stots. I could see that happening. So there's a lot of good fights in that mix. Juan Archuleta and possibly, James Gallagher. That'd be fun. The trash talking between the two of them would be fun. There's those fights that are in there. So I'm looking forward to hearing how they're going to break this thing up. But overall, I think if I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be him. I know
he's up there.
Yeah, it's between him and Horiguchi, and nothing against Pettis, the champ. But we saw Horiguchi was winning that fight. I know anything can happen, as we found out. But he was losing that fight in every aspect of the fight. So when I look at what Stots brings,
that's the best part. It only takes one, man. That's that's the beauty of the sport.
Yeah, but when I look at what Stots brings to the table, like Horiguchi's gonna have a hard time taking him down. Horiguchi's gonna have a hard time with the speed because they're gonna both be very equally fast. So that'll be a fun fight. You just got to make sure he doesn't get caught with Stots, and the same thing with Horiguchi when the both of them are fighting. That should be fun. We should see. I'm excited for that tournament.
Oh,
Dave, you got some news for us, brother.
Yep. So I figured since there's not a whole lot as news to talk about, there were a couple of things that came from us that made headlines, and they actually came from Weighing Interjection. So for you guys that don't know,
who did we piss off?
Weighing Interjections on our extra channel, and it's a short show. It's a quick takes. So John and Josh both get 40 seconds each approximately, talk about some hot topics. And so the two things that come up, John, were around Derrick Lewis being a gatekeeper and Jose Aldo being the guy that could beat Aljamain Sterling. And during that conversation we talked about Dom Cruz and Jose Aldo kind of being far along in their career, and do they have a chance at getting the title? So let's start with the Derrick Lewis piece, where I posed the question to you guys: is Derrick Lewis a gatekeeper at this point after the 2 title losses? And so basically the headline is that you said Derrick Lewis is a gatekeeper at this point in his career.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead, John. Dig yourself out of this one, buddy.
Dig yourself out of this one.
You want a pitchfork and a shovel? No, let's not give you that. You might get hurt. That's okay.
No, it's just got to have height to it.
Oh, jeez.
Look, Derrick Lewis is one of my favorite fighters to watch. I say it all the time. I love the guy. He's a joy as far as the comments that he makes in the media days, the comments he makes in the cage. And I will tell you that, when I was refereeing, he was the guy that you worried about because of the power and strength that he possessed, especially if the fight hit the ground. You never saw guys getting up off of the ground when Derrick Lewis was on top of him. So he's a awesome fighter. The problem is this, and this is the way I looked at it, is Derrick Lewis has lost 2 title fights. All right, and you can go and you take a look at history and the way things are. When you have a guy who has lost 2 title fights without ever being the champion, there's never a guy that I can come up with that's gotten a 3rd. Now, Derrick Lewis might get that 3rd, but there hasn't been anyone that's gotten the 3rd. Kenny Florian was right there. Kenny had, I believe, 2 losses for the title. He lost to BJ Penn. He lost to Sean Shirk.
Didn't he go to 45 and fight for the title?
Did he fight Aldo? He might have.
Yeah,
he might have fought Aldo.
I thought he went to 45 and fought for the title.
But again, switch of weight class. But he'd be the only guy that I could say if there was, that would be 3. Dave told me someone said something about Michael Bisping. What about Bisping? Bisping got 1 freaking title shot out of all his fights. Yeah. Out of all his fights, he never got the title shot. Michael Bisping was an amazing fighter when you take a look at what he did throughout his career. But it was Luke Rockhold was his first title fight, and he won. And so you can go and take a look. There are guys that have won the title before that got more title shots. Yeah, like a Jose Aldo and stuff. But they've already been champions. Derrick has not been that champion. And since he hasn't been the champion and he's already gotten the 2 title shots, he's in that position where as the UFC, what you've seen in the past, they're not real quick since they've never really done it, except maybe, Kenny Florian, if you go to the difference in the weight classes, they're not quick to give anybody that shot. And this is over, a lot of years. And so that's why I'm saying, yeah, he's kind of in that gatekeeper role, because not that he can't fight, not that he can't beat people. And you brought it up, and I thought it was the perfect comment of they got to be really careful because he can beat a lot of people.
Yep.
And he can beat your top talent. And when I was saying, the guys that I see that, are in the upper echelon of the heavyweight division, Francis would probably be the one that I say is not the most technical. He's very much like Derrick Lewis. He's more power-based. He's that powerhouse. But if you take a look at Cyril Gahn, who's got a win over Derrick Lewis, technical. He's technically very proficient. That gives Derrick problems. I think Stipe would give Derrick problems. Technically proficient fighter. John Jones, if he ever fights at heavyweight, a technically proficient fighter. Those are the guys that I look at and say, well, those are be the top guys in the heavyweight. Those are tough matchups for Derrick based upon their technical skill can get them into places and positions in the fight. And the one thing that Derrick doesn't have going for him is he doesn't have a big gas tank. He's got that, I'm going to step on the gas and I'm going to crush you like he did, with Chris Dawkins when he decided, to put his foot on the gas there. Look at what he's capable of doing. But he's in that position. It's a rough position for the UFC as a promotion, and it's a rough position for him as a really good fighter.
Yeah, well, we talked about this the other day on Weight Interjection, which is on our clips on our extra channel, is the reason why I said that it's dangerous for the UFC is because he possesses the power to finish anybody that they put in there with. And so if you have someone like a Tom Aspinall, that kid is extremely talented, But do you really want him to go in there and fight Derrick Lewis?
Yeah.
Now, I think
tough.
he's got a lot of the skill to get the takedown. He's got a lot of skill to like with the jiu-jitsu. He's got those areas where he can be more technical than Derrick Lewis. But in power, it can change at any second, any moment, in any round of that fight. It doesn't matter. And we've seen him do it. We saw him do it to Volkov with like 10 seconds left. He knocked him out.
How many times have we seen him do it?
And so that's the point, is that do you want your young talent continuing to lose to that guy, or do you just kind of pussyfoot around it and have them not fight him, the ones that you think can be the champ? So that's kind of, like, unless you got someone who's extremely, like you said, skilled in terms of their technique, like a Cyril Gane or a Stipe or, like DC. Those guys, they made it look easy, or DC kind of made it look easy when he fought him, because all he had to do was just to get him down, took him down, dominated top position, made it look easy. I believe DC even had like a fractured hand at the time.
Yeah,
when he fought him. And so that fight all came about, and it's like, all you need to do is have a little bit of technique when it comes to the wrestling to beat him. But in that process, you got to be very careful. And so with the UFC, when I meant by it's dangerous, that's what I meant. It's dangerous to have somebody who possesses that much power as your gatekeeper. And I don't think, for me, I feel like they're not going to make him a gatekeeper. They're going to try to continue to get him beat, but they've got to be careful with who they pick and choose to beat him.
Do you think they're going to try to get him beat? I don't think that they're trying to get him beat. I think they look at it and go, well, let's see how you do against this guy who is a problem for everyone when it comes to certain aspects of the fighting game.
I don't. When you say that, though, they're good. They're hard people for everyone to beat in the heavyweight division. But do you want to take a chance with like a Tom Aspinall? Do you want to take a chance with him fighting Derrick Lewis?
I don't think you do. Not right now.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Somebody not like him. But then you take someone like, I can't think of the heavyweight division right now in that area. But you take someone like a Stipe. If you want to get, if you don't want him to be so ranked high, like if you don't want Derrick Lewis ranked so high, so that you can kind of have guys that you are young and talented can jump over him. You have him fight Stipe. Stipe gets the win, and then maybe Stipe gets closer to another title shot because he is your longest reigning heavyweight champion ever, and there's a little story there. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm just simply saying, like, I can see get Derrick Lewis to step back a little bit. I think so they could get their younger talent past him a little easier. But if he's just sitting there at 3 and 4 or 2 and 3 the whole time, he's gonna have to fight some of them, and that's gonna make it look even worse.
Yeah,
like,
but I think
skipping him.
One of the good things about Derrick Lewis is he doesn't turn down fights. When they call him and say, "Hey, man, we have this guy," he'll take it.
Yeah,
So.
And so, Josh, he did just beat number 7, who was Chris Dalkus, and ahead of him is Rosenstruck, Volkov, and Blades, of which he's
already didn't he already beat Rosenstruck? No, that was in Ghana.
No, he beat Blades.
Yeah, he beat Blades.
Yeah, he beat Blades. Yeah,
and then
Francis beat Rosenstruck. I don't think so. I think Francis beat Rosenstruck.
Yeah, I saw that.
He hasn't fought Rosenstruck, no.
Okay.
No. But he did beat Blades, and he did beat Volkov.
Yeah.
And then right behind him is right behind Chris. Is Tom Aspinall's there. Tuivasa is there, and then Tybura.
See, Tuivasa, that's a good fight for him.
Yeah.
That's a snobber blocker right there.
Yeah,
and then Aburakimov. I don't know, Shamil Aburakimov.
Yeah.
So he's right there as well. They're just right behind Dalkus.
So you got Tom Aspinall there. So he's in that mix. Like, how do you get him around Derrick Lewis?
Derek's number 3 as well, by the way. So
so Derek's gonna have to. They're gonna have to drop Derek down a little bit to like 5 or 6, so he could skip Derek. If you keep him at 3, he's gonna have to fight Derek. Because if you get into that mix, like if you can't beat Derek, then he's gonna have to fight Cyril Gane, or he's gonna fight Ngannou if Ngannou loses. So now where are you at? Like, now you're dealing with double the shitty position. So if you drop him out of that position, then you can have him get up to number 3. Okay, Ngannou is just champion. Now I can go ahead and have him just skip Ngannou and go right to the title shot. But you can't have him skip top. You can't have him skip number 2 and number 3, or number 1 and number 2. So it's, yeah, you got to get him out of. You got to get him out of there if he's not going to fight for the title. I want him to fight again for the title because I like Derrick Lewis. I love everything about him, man. I'm a huge fan of Derrick
phenomenal
Lewis.
As far as his personality, what he does in the. Yeah,
I like what he does in the cage, John.
What's that?
I like what he does in the cage. I like the way he fucking plays possum and then he fucks
absolutely.
you up.
The only fight I can say that was horrible was his fight against Ngannou.
Yeah.
You know, that one was a snooze fest on both guys. He got the win, but it was a snooze fest because they kind of just stalked each other because they're both respectful of the power.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's that guy, man. You take a look. He's going to beat a lot of your heavyweights just based upon his power. It's the guys that are, at least in some ways, technically better. You know, like you talked about with Cormier. You know, Daniel's wrestling, as soon as Derrick was on his back, he's got problems.
Yeah.
He's not a jiu-jitsu guy. I know he's got the loss against Junior Dos Santos. Technically, a cleaner stand-up fighter, much like, you know, if you're looking at Stipe, you know, Miocic, that's the whole thing. Stipe could use his striking with him and be the guy that plays the technical game, which I thought Chris Daukaus was trying to do, moving in and out, or he can use his wrestling and get him off of his feet, take him out of that power realm and put him in a place like where Cormier did. That's why I say that's a hard matchup for him. But, I mean, you take a look at who he's fought. He's got big wins against big names, and he's a great fighter. He's fun. I will watch him every time. It's not that when I say, the question was, is he a gatekeeper? And I'm looking at him going, yeah, I guess, if you're going to say he's in that position based upon, and I think I said it, the fact that he's had 2 title shots and he's lost both of them and he's never been the champion, it puts him in a hard spot.
Yeah, I get you.
Do you think, though, that Stipe being number 2, coming off the loss to for the title, and Derrick being number 3, coming off this win, does that make that matchup like the matchup to make?
Well, I think what Stipe tends to do, and I think which I didn't give him credit for the longest time, and I did give him credit. What I was taking DC's side, so because that's what I do. Is
okay, there you go.
Is
what I do?
Yeah, is Stipe's going to wait for another title shot. He's going to wait for the winner of this and probably say like, "Hey, I deserve a title shot," because he's been the longest reigning heavyweight champ and he's defended it the most. All those things. That's what I think he's going to do. I don't think he has any interest in fighting Derrick Lewis. I mean, I could see him potentially them making him fight the loser to see if he can get a title shot against them, but I don't see that either, only because he's number 2. So why would I fight the loser? Why not the loser fight Derrick Lewis? You have Francis Ngannou maybe fight him, and I don't think they'd have him fight Ciryl Gane again. So I think Stipe could make a case for himself to just jump everybody, or not jump everyone. Sorry, jump one person, the loser of the actual thing, of the fight, and then fight for the title. It makes sense, and that's what Stipe has been known to try and do. He'll sit and wait, and he'll continue to do what he does. He's older too. What is he? 37, pushing 30.
Oh, he's older than that.
Yeah,
Stipe's 39.
39. So like, there's no reason for him to say like, let me go ahead and fight Derrick Lewis first. You potentially get knocked out, but I could just go ahead and fight for the title. Doesn't make sense. So I don't know if they're into that. The UFC is into that, but I mean, they should be. All right, what else you got for us, Dave?
All right, so I think we actually won. There's the Aldo and Dom Cruz thing. Basically, it was just highlighting that John had said, Aldo is the one over Dom that stands a chance.
Okay, let's talk about this for a second, okay? I love how people get their panties all up in a bunch over this. If you take a look at Aldo right now, where is he good? Josh, where's Aldo good at?
On the feet.
Okay, so if you were going to say who's a better stand-up fighter, Aljamain Sterling or Jose Aldo?
Yeah, I'd say Jose.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Now, submission-wise, I'll actually go with Aljamain, even though Jose is the black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think Aljamain is a more dynamic submission guy than Aldo, but he's got to get Aldo to the ground. Not an easy task. A lot of people have tried. A lot of really good wrestlers have tried. And not that Aljamain isn't a good wrestler. It's just that his wrestling transfers a little bit differently in this situation. And I believe he's going to have a really hard time getting Aldo to the ground, just like he had a hard time with Peter Yan. Now, I'm not saying he can't get him there, but when he gets him there, is he going to be able to put him away there? I don't think so. And so he's going to get back to his feet. And on the feet, Aldo he's got a sizable advantage. He is very fast. If he uses his leg kicks, He's got power in his hands. Let's just be honest. If you were going to say between Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling, those are your two bantamweight champions in the UFC right now, which one would you pick Aldo to get a win over? Would it be Aljamain or would it be Yan?
Yeah, we've already seen what happened with Petr Yan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say Aljo.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand what the problem
That doesn't mean Aljamain can't beat Aldo, but if I was going to pick Aldo to win the title, I would put him against Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, we've already seen it was not a pretty sight when he fought Petr Yan. Now, I've also seen Aljo start using his kicks a little bit more. And as he starts using his kicks, the fights tend to change. If he was
Did you
to
say
do that
Aldo
against,
or Aldo?
Sorry, Aldo.
Okay.
Aldo.
Because it's close.
I've also seen Aldo start using his kicks.
Yeah.
And so Aldo, if he does use his kicks, which he didn't use against Petr Yan, if he does, the fight may change, and it may change quickly. Yeah. Because that tenacity that Petr Yan walks down people with, that aggressiveness, he may have to end up fighting southpaw then. If he's not already I don't know. Anyways, he may have to switch stances and he may not be as good in that direction.
If you go back to the Aldo Petr Yan fight, Aldo did attack his leg. In fact, he gave him some problems. And you saw Petr switching stance a lot based upon Aldo was using that leg kick. His coaches saw it. He saw it. He knew it was something that needed to be done. He just couldn't maintain it.
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't remember.
Go back and watch.
I'm going to have to. All right. Well, I guess we're going to see. I mean, I guess he's right there now. So he's right at the top. So I can't think of, I mean, who else would they have him fight? TJ Dillashaw. TJ is supposed to be next in line for the title shot after the winner of this Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling. He just beat Rob Font. You got Corey Sandhagen, who's in that mix as well. I mean, you could see them two fighting. I don't know.
Well, if they, which they are doing, they're putting Aljamain and Petr Yan together, which is the right fight. Mm-hmm. And so you're looking, it's not going to be, Aldo's in that position. He's got to sit and wait. So if he wants to, in a way guarantee that he's going to get that next shot, then TJ is the guy to fight.
Yeah.
TJ, because that definitely puts him in that position. He should be next.
That's a tough fight for Aldo.
Yeah, it is.
Stylistically, it's a tough fight for him.
Yeah.
The mixture of wrestling, but who knows? If TJ coming off of the way coming off his knee surgery, will he be able to take leg kicks? He only has one fight back, and then he went on a long layoff again from a knee injury. Yep. So it's not a lot of time in the cage in the last 4 years.
No, very little.
Yeah, a lot of questions to be answered in that situation, but I mean, Aldo, I can't believe he's still doing it, man. Seems like he's been doing it fucking forever.
But he's not that old, though.
No, I know. He's 34, 33,
34?
35.
Jeez,
man. 35.
Is he 35 now? 35. Okay.
Just turned 35.
Oh, that's it. It's all done. Just kidding.
Just turned. All right, well, hey, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We did a little Christmas show for you guys, and you guys, I don't know if are we dropping this today, Dave?
It'll be dropped on the 26th.
Oh, so we're going to drop it on
Sunday.
Sunday morning?
Yep.
Okay, we'll drop it on Sunday morning. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed your Christmas, okay, since we are talking to you guys after. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your Christmas with your family. You guys all got home safely, and the kids just tore up the house and all the presents, and you guys enjoyed your time. That's the most precious part of this holiday and these times, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I want to thank you guys so much for this year of you guys supporting our show. And it means a lot to me. It means a lot to John. I know that. And we don't really care what Podcast Dave thinks. But we are very grateful for all of you fans, for all 108 or 9,000 subscribers that we have. We want to thank you guys so much from the bottom of our heart. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. John?
To everyone out there, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. I hope you got to spend them with your loved ones and you've enjoyed the time. And thanks for tuning in, and we will see you.